So ladies, gentlemen of the DC Universe, welcome to once again another DC News Roundup video right before San Diego Comic-Con, of which I think I'm gonna kind of be a bit busy this weekend, maybe bleeding into next week given time zone differences. If you didn't know already, the Penguin panel for me is like 8 hours time difference, so it starts at like midnight. So just be aware that for me, I might be doing my videos on Sunday, Monday, and whatnot. But you know, before we get into San Diego Comic-Con, and we've got some news on that and what we could expect out of it from DC, a little bit more, that is, we need to get into some of the other stories in this video. And I'm going to say this one more time. I know it frustrates some of you, but if you're not subscribed already, maybe consider subscribing, because in the past 28 days, we've got the number down to those of you who aren't subscribed, who keep coming back to every video, down to 45.2%. And that was like 48, 49%. Maybe today is the day you'd be like, oh, maybe, hey, I thought I was subscribed. I keep seeing some of you say comments like that, so maybe we can get this number down to below 40%. But let's start off with the Superman news here. And it's crazy. It really is crazy. But we've got Nicholas Hoult officially rapping on Superman, and he actually gave a little gift to James Gunn, and it's a Superman issue 167, and some people have been looking into this in terms of, oh, could this mean anything? I don't know if it does. Maybe it could if you really want to reach a little bit. I don't think we're going to get any like crazy-ass Brainiac stuff, but when we have that Lex Luthor commentary there on the front page saying, no, Brainiac, I should have the honor of taking down Superman, I took away his superpowers with this serum. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen in the movie, but we know that Lex Luthor is much more of a scientist kind of backgrounded Lex in this film. There's the theories about the cloning and this, that, and the other. There's the DNA sequence emojis that Gunn referenced when Nicholas Hoult came on board. You know the whole spiel by now. So, you know, I see Lex Luthor talking about superpowers, Superman's superpowers, and taking them away with a serum, and it makes me think, could it be a little reference to that? But, you know, I'm not going to look too deep into it. But the reason why I said this is crazy, by the way, is because Nicholas Hoult is wrapped, and we've got like nothing of him on set, and we have James Gunn addressing that here, saying, no, Lex is the primary villain. We only have a few days left of shooting. Only 2 actors are left. It's almost over, guys. It's almost over. I mean, I know that the Superman news broadly here has quietened down ever since they went over to Cincinnati to film in what could be the Hall of Justice. And from there on out, we're not really going to hear too much about it until really marketing picks up. But to kind of celebrate, I guess you could say, the ending of the shoot, we have a video here, and I'm very grateful to Matthew Todd, who runs the Comic Panelist page, for allowing me to use this in the video. And he's done a little bit of a montage of video footage that he's got of the Superman set, and I haven't seen this pop up anywhere else, so I'm just going to go through it, play it, maybe pause it a couple of times, just for like the occasion of, you know, going full circle now with the Superman shoot coming to an end. So let's start at the very beginning here, and by the way, there's no major spoilers in this. I would say it's more just like some cool details and whatnot. So let's start. So we've got the Superman logo at the beginning there. And this would be a map of Metropolis. And look, there's the Lord Tech Stadium. Without saying too much here, that is where a few characters fight, as what we've seen in recent set videos that I went over, was it like a week or so ago now? All the time blends into one for me. Then we have the flag, various other little locations in Metropolis. And here we have all of these people running away. Obviously, we don't know exactly what from. Some drone footage there that they will be using for the film. The Daily Planet. No logo there, though. I don't know if this was shot before that went up. The good old Daily Planet logo on the shop windows. That would be the bookstore. Stag Industries. And we can see the Stag logo there as well. The little S. And this is the Action Committee of Metropolis, 1938. Obviously a reference to Action Comics, 1938. Lord Tech, the good old Lord Tech logo, sponsoring superheroes of Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific. Good old Chocos, good old Martian Manhunter reference there. Okay, some more people running away here. They're seeing something, and there's a little bit of an explosion there. Superman coming in to save the day, and that's where you see that part where they dug a massive hole in the street and Superman went in there. Now, this is what I meant by some really high-quality footage. You see James Gunn there and David Corenswet filming this very scene. And look how good this footage is of the Superman suit. I mean, I know we've all seen good old high quality pictures of the suit, but I don't think I've come across a video like this, which is, you know, not really blurry. You know, it's not massively spoilery. It's just James Gunn and David Corenswet just hanging out and shooting the scene. The suit is a bit dusty, so from when the people are running away, obviously Superman is saving the day, but is getting a bit bashed in. Now this is him going into the hole. It's like, get in there. And he looks pretty battered, have to say. James Gunn's like, yeah, Corenswet, maybe act a little bit more battered. You want to act like you've just been completely smashed into the ground. And then this is where we get that moment where the Metropolis citizens come towards him, and then one of them in particular actually, you know, lends a hand and pulls him out. He takes his hand. Realistically, I guess if Superman was pulling that guy, maybe he'd pull the arm out of the socket, but really, Superman would be mindful of that. But yeah, I love it. I love it. It's cool seeing some nice video footage of this. I know I keep saying that, but... and that bit there, I really like that bit. You see, like, Superman still being helped out by that individual and some other Metropolis citizens. And this is where the scene is actually shooting. And it's like he tries to take off, but he's like a bird with, like, a broken wing, and he kind of stumbles. He can't quite take off there and then. Like, you see him try, but he kind of trips up over himself. And then maybe he gets some encouraging words saying, it's okay, Superman. You can do it. You can do it. And he looks back at him. He's like, I got this. And then I guess he maybe takes off successfully the second time. Man, look at that cape. Look at the logo on the back. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I can't imagine the cape and this suit looking as good without the crest on the cape. Like, imagine it just being blank red. And sure, that looks cool too, and we're very familiar with that with Superman, but... I just can't unsee it now. Some more James Gunn Corenswet there putting up the umbrella. And look at that cape flapping in the wind as he walks away. Absolutely brilliant. So, you know, just want to give a massive shout out to the comic panelist. I'll leave his link in the description of this video so you can go to his page. But just wanted to share that with you as, again, a little bit of a full circle on the shooting, because I don't think we're going to get much more than this now that they're basically done filming. And everything we've seen so far with regards to Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Superman, Mr. Terrific, the lack of Lex Luthor, that's it. That's as much as we're going to get until some actual promo posters, character posters potentially come out. But still, speaking of Superman here, we have some other little tidbits as we now branch into the San Diego Comic-Con stuff, which is, you know, it's already San Diego Comic-Con right now, but the main panels is Saturday with regards to, you know, we're going to get a Superman and Lois trailer. We got the panel for the Penguin with Matt Reeves, sat down for an hour with a Q&A with Lauren LaFranc, the showrunner, Colin Farrell appearing over video call and whatnot. So who knows what we're going to get out of that. But in the meantime... Yes, the Superman merch at San Diego Comic-Con is sold out. James Gunn offers a comment to the high demand for the film. Whoops, sorry. I would love to get my hands on some of this. I know some of you out there, some mutuals, have already got your hands on this. I really want the hat. I want the shirt. I want all of it. But here we have a very interesting article speaking of DC Studios' presence at San Diego Comic-Con, because I know a lot of you are wondering about it, saying, "Oh, are we gonna get something bigger? Are we gonna get some surprise?" Or some of you are saying it's a big mistake that Superman might not be appearing at San Diego Comic-Con. And just to address that quickly, I don't necessarily think so, because, you know, the movie isn't even finished filming. I mean, it might be done by the time I actually post this video. As we know, they only had a couple of days shooting left. But, you know, the film's still cooking. DC Studios, every other project is in active development. You know, there's nothing too much of substance. I guess Peacemaker is filming, but, like, it's too early. It's like pulling the cake out the oven before it's even baked. Do you really want to present that to all the people judging your cake? Like, not really. It's not done. It's their prerogative. If they don't want to, and they just rather, you know, really evaluate everything, even if you could argue that they could pull something or show a couple of stills or get, like, a good version and photo of Hawkgirl's suit and Guy Gardner's suit, maybe, but I think they want to pull out all the stops when they're ready to do so. As Variety says here, though, that there could be something, maybe something that might come out. So the rebooted DC Studios is largely sitting out this year's convention. Co-Studios chief James Gunn couldn't fit in an appearance between his directing duties on Superman and Season 2 of Peacemaker, but the upcoming HBO series The Penguin with Colin Farrell and the Max animated shows Harley Quinn and spin-off Kite Man, hell yeah, are scheduled to appear, and an insider says DC Studios still plans to break some news. So I found this very interesting personally, because I remember saying like, okay, yeah, we're not going to get a lot, but maybe a Creature Commandos thing. But then we got that DC.com blog about, you know, the schedule for the panels, and there's nothing with regards to DC Studios and Creature Commandos. You see Thursday here, you see Friday, Saturday's the main day with My Adventures with Superman, Superman and Lois, Batman, Caped Crusader, Matt Reeves is also going to be on that panel, the Penguin, but like there's no Creature Commandos. And I'm thinking if what Variety are claiming here is to be true, and an insider says DC Studios still plans to break some news, could there be like a surprise shadow drop of like a Creature Commandos trailer? Because don't forget, we got something at that event a little while ago at the Annecy Animation Film Festival, kind of like a making of thing. Granted that we didn't get a trailer out of that. That's why a lot of us were thinking Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. But I don't know. I would say don't get your expectations too high, but ultimately DC Studios doesn't have a lot to play with. I think the best they could play with is what we've been saying. There's Penguin stuff, which isn't DCU, but, you know, it's all under DC Studios. There's potentially some more Joker stuff, even though we got the trailer earlier this week. Check my breakdown out, by the way, if you haven't seen it already. But the only thing of substance that they could literally pull from is Creature Commandos, which is releasing in December. So fingers crossed that we get something. But as far as we're looking at right now, there's nothing on the schedules indicating that. But if Variety are correct, they could kind of do a little shadow drop and surprise online. But don't expect Superman stuff, although that would be absolutely nuts if something dropped. But yeah, I don't think so. But speaking of Superman, guys, something that I do want to bring to everyone's attention, as DC Film News has highlighted here, it'd be really awesome if we could like rally the community we have here on the channel, the power of the DC fandom, because Superman Extra was diagnosed with, excuse my pronunciation here, cerebrovascular disease, and is undergoing brain surgery. Her family have set up a GoFundMe to cover unforeseen medical costs, and we even have James Gunn acknowledging this over on Threads, and he says, yes, I remember her, a very vibrant person. I donated. And you can see on the page that James Gunn donated like a couple of $100s. So if any of you guys could also maybe head over to the page, any kind of support with regards to the medical costs, I'm sure would go a long way. Even if it's like $1 per person. If we got like a few hundred people to do that here or something, that could still make a big difference. I'll be donating myself. But yeah, I wanted to bring that to people's attention. If there's any support you can give, I'll be leaving that link in the top pinned comment of the comment section down below. But thank you to anyone and everyone who can offer any kind of financial support there to the GoFundMe, or even at, you know, the very least, like if you repost on social media, that's very, very helpful as well. Now, as for some other little DC tidbits here that I found interesting, we have from DC Film News saying Mark Guggenheim on Greg Berlanti's cancelled Green Lantern HBO Max series. And don't worry, because when I went on Twitter and reposted this, some people thought that Lanterns was cancelled. No, this is the former Lanterns or Green Lantern series that was in the works for HBO Max. It was in the works for a long, long time, but what I found super cool here is that it was going to be awesome, he said. We had James Mangold's go-to production designer. We had the woman who designs the costumes for the boys. And I would have loved to have seen that. So that would be LJ Supersuits. She designed, well, yes, the costumes for the boys, the DC Universe shows such as Titans, Stargirl, and whatnot. And, you know, I know not everyone is happy with every Titan suits, but I feel like her work is absolutely great. You're probably seeing some examples on screen right now, and I just wonder what she would have cooked up for a Lantern series. Speaking of Lanterns in the DCU, I just wanted to address this because a lot of people are believing it. There was a rumor going around that Miles Teller, Channing Tatum, and Josh Hartnett, and Alden Ehrenreich were being looked at for Hal Jordan in the Lantern series. But we have another, I believe, scooper here saying this is not true. Casting has just started, and there are no names yet, let alone a shortlist. And casting starting makes sense given what James Gunn said recently with regards to how the guys over on the Lanterns team have some great ideas for who they want. So he's literally said that they've got names in mind and they've got great ideas, but it's not like this rumor isn't necessarily true. Although I do actually like the idea of Alden Ehrenreich. I think he's a great actor. Josh Hartnett is also great, and his age being 46 could actually even line up to, I would say, maybe like the potential top end of where Hal Jordan could be, because we know, even officially acknowledged now, that in the DCU, Hal Jordan is the Green Lantern legend, and John Stewart was described in a logline synopsis, if you will, as a rookie. So that's always lined up now with the leaks that have been out there for a long, long time, and how John Stewart would be the younger Lantern and Hal Jordan would be the older one. So in a DC universe that's had heroes exist for a while, that means Hal Jordan's been a Lantern for anywhere upwards of 5 to 8, maybe even 10 years, like Batman. So what I'm saying there is, even though this rumor is false, like, don't be surprised if Hal Jordan is in his 40s and has been active as a Lantern for some time. But let me know who you would want to play Hal Jordan. John Stewart, even though this rumor is false, I mean, technically you could argue some of these actors could have been a part of the Lanterns team's great ideas for the names that they want, that James Gunn has heard of, and who they may be approaching, we don't know. But yeah, very excited to get some more things of substance with that. We've also got new images. There's a bit more marketing for Batman Caped Crusader. So we've got this new shot that, as DC Film News says here, paying a bit of homage to the GOAT, Batman the Animated Series. And I know exactly what this shot is from, which episode, because I've seen all 10 episodes, and my review, I believe the embargo is up on Monday, so I'll be posting a no spoiler review then, so keep an eye out for that. Can't say anything now, obviously. There might be a few videos uploading, considering that I'm going to be playing a bit of catch up with San Diego Comic-Con. If any of you are wondering, by the way, while I remember, about my Deadpool and Wolverine review, I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I want to see it, but I think I'm going to be crazy busy this weekend, so I might just get into a spoiler review sometime next week. I'm going to be very late with it, but if you're wondering about my thoughts on that, know that I want to make a review about it. Haven't seen it. We'll try and see it sometime soon, but it's going to be up a bit late on the channel. Now, we got some more stills from the Penguin page, and I think these are stills from the episode, like episode 1. We have like a news report going over, obviously, the seawall rocked by violent explosions, massive flooding in downtown core. We also have GCPD warns of post-flood crime wave, and we just see how, as Batman said, there'll be lawlessness and looting, and my God, I mean, imagine Batman just around the corner of this street. He's going to be a very, very busy vigilante, and I just can't wait to get into the meat of stuff like this. I love even little, snippets, a little frame of just seeing what the vibe is like immediately after what the Riddler did at the end of the Batman. And then we also have 1 week later, since we know the Penguin picks up 1 week later. So I can imagine this is like a intro to the series somewhere around then, and there's like multiple news reports, and then 1 week later, severe flooding remains, city struggles with recovery efforts, and you see a lot of Gotham citizens have gone missing in the flood, and people are trying to search for their loved ones after being swept away. Probably, I know Batman saved a lot of people at the end of the film, and you saw a lot of people on the rooftop, but there's also got to be a lot of people who probably lost their lives in what the Riddler did. So yeah, can't wait to see what we get out of the Penguin. I will be doing a breakdown video recapping what happened at the panel. Hopefully we get some things of substance also on the Batman too. Some minor teasers is what I expect, progress and things like that. But definitely stay tuned on the channel for that. And the Batman 2 and Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow have been confirmed to have IMAX releases. But I thought the Batman 2 was cancelled. But lastly for this video, guys, Joker Folie 2, we have some new information coming out of Empire magazine that, you just wouldn't get in a trailer. We actually have interviews with Todd Phillips. There's comments from Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga and stuff. So there's a lot of text here, but I'm going to read out some of the most interesting tidbits here. So we get a new image of Arthur Fleck just casually bursting into laughter in the Superior Court of Gotham courtroom, because don't forget he's facing facing trial for the crimes that he committed in Joker 1. And interestingly here, it's going to be fascinating to see what people's reactions are to this, even though it's something we've known, given that it's kind of it is an Elseworlds movie. But they say, and so in Joker Folie à Deux, the much anticipated sort of sequel that sends Fleck to Arkham, where he'll strike up a music-fueled relationship with Lady Gaga's Harley Lee Quinzel, will be venturing further into Arthur Fleck's psyche. But in keeping with the previous film, it won't see Joker become the Gotham's clown prince of crime. Okay, we would never do that, Phillips explains to Empire, because Arthur clearly is not a criminal mastermind. He was never that. While Fleck isn't angling to become a criminal figurehead in Arkham, the world is watching him. Arthur has become this symbol to people, this unwilling, unwitting symbol now paying for the crimes of the first film, but at the same time, finding the only thing he ever wanted, which was love. That's always what he's been about, even though he's been pushed and pushed in all of these directions, so we just tried to make the most pure version of that. And I've got a feeling that some people might be like, wait, what? He's not going to become, the kind of traditional Joker clown prince of crime. But don't forget that this is an Elseworlds version. Yes, you've got Alfred Pennyworth in it. Yes, you had Thomas Wayne in it. You have Bruce Wayne in it. In this other version, you could still argue in headcanon, let's just say we never get a Joker 3 and there's no more Jokers. And let's just say Joker doesn't die at the end of this movie and he still ends up back in Arkham. You could still have Bruce, the young Bruce we saw in the first movie, grow up to be a Batman vigilante of sorts in this Elseworlds universe. And this Joker, or while he's not the criminal mastermind that we're used to, he could still, just like how in this movie we see from the trailer, he's running out on the streets and escaping once again after the courtroom explosion, that, I don't know, 10 years in the future, he could escape again. And even though it's not a criminal mastermind plan that he might do, there still might be another situation with hostages and things like that Batman would thwart. So you can still say, just like many Elseworlds graphic novels or animations or whatever you want to say, that it can still be a Batman Joker story in the future for argument's sake. But like what they're doing with these movies at this current point in time, it's a version of the Joker. It's a version of Harley Quinn. And what they're focusing on is somewhat of a bit of their own rendition of that. Now, with Empire getting into how this Harleen Quinzel is different, and to those of you who don't know, I know she goes by Lee, but she is still called in full name Harleen Quinzel. They say, in Gaga's hands, get ready for an all-new take on a fan favorite character. Lee is both the Harley Quinn you know and one you really don't. Now, while there are some things that people would find familiar in her, it's really Gaga's own interpretation. And Scott Silver, the co-writer and I's interpretation, explains Phillips, she became the way how Manson had girls that idolized him, the way that sometimes these imprisoned murderers have people that look up to them. There are things about Harley in the movie that were taken from the comic books, but we took it and molded it to the way that we wanted it to be, which again, as per what we were talking about with Arthur earlier, you're going to have clearly very Joker characteristic kind of traits in Arthur. We know that. And the same thing with Harleen Quinzel, but it's still an Elseworlds movie. It's still a rendition of these characters, but she's going to still be something of a new iteration in this Elseworlds universe. So I am fully going into the movie with those expectations, but I think a lot of people might be surprised because I know there's some people out there. I even saw a comment yesterday on Twitter being like, wait, she's not a psychiatrist or a psychologist? So there's a lot of people who still won't know that, and I imagine if their expectations are subverted when they see the film, sometimes people don't like it when things stray from a traditional or super traditionalist canonical background, and that's fair enough if that's what they want to see, but I think a lot of people need to go into this knowing what Joker, the Elseworlds, movies are. And when you go into it knowing that, it is what it is, I'm fine with that. I'm looking forward to see what kind of new innovative twist they give to Harleen Quinzel and the relationship between this Joker and his Lee. We also have the runtime for the film now reportedly being 2 hours and 18 minutes. I think that's a nice runtime. And also, we have a comment on the movie itself from the Venice Film Festival chief Alberto Barbara here saying, it's a dystopian musical. Joker Folie à Deux is one of the most daring, brave, and creative films in recent American cinema. We were astonished. Our mouths were open at the end of the screening. It is a darker film. that's very interesting. I saw a lot of people coming out of that second trailer we got recently, the official trailer, saying, oh, it doesn't seem as dark as the first film, but there's basically one of your first reviews of it. So take that as you will, but like that's quite a glowing review if I do say so myself. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I really, really am. But let me know any and all thoughts on not only the Joker 2 stuff, but everything in this video, because I'm going to wrap it up here. The final video before, I would say things really swing at San Diego Comic-Con. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're looking forward to from this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you liked this video, do consider leaving a like on it, supporting the channel, and of course, maybe consider subscribing for more videos like this in the future. But I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll see you over the next few days. I'm sure I'm going to be a busy bee. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see all of you people from the DC fandom in the next video. Goodbye.